Breaking tonight, one of the suspects in the attempted terror attack at a Texas Draw Muhammad event was reportedly in close contact with an ISIS recruiter for several months before Sunday's shooting. These new developments come as we hear new questions about whether the group that was attacked somehow crossed a line, arguably inviting it.
By setting up a contest and awarding $10,000 for a depiction of the Prophet Muhammad, the American Freedom Defense Initiative spurred a violent incident. That wasn't smart, even though the group has its supporters. Mike, I'm withholding his last name, in Fairbanks, Alaska, wrote, Megyn Kelly was completely right and you were completely wrong, O'Reilly. An event like this should be held daily. If the Muslim world doesn't like it, tough. Insulting the entire Muslim world is stupid, Mike. It does not advance the cause of liberty or get us any closer to defeating the savage jihad.
Joining me now, Richard Fowler, who is a nationally syndicated radio talk show host. Richard, I say this to Bill. The relevant question is not, did those under attack say something offensive? The relevant question is, what do we do about a group that wants to kill us for exercising our constitutional rights? And you say?
This is what I agree with Bill 100%, and for once in my life I agree with Bill. But here's the distinction. Let me parse your question just a little bit if I can. It's because there's one thing, yes, there are people that want to kill us. ISIS wants to kill us. Al-Qaeda wants to kill us. But Muslims as a whole do not want to kill us, right? And I think that's part of the problem. So when you go around and you depict who they worship as some sort of caricature or some sort of cartoon, it's offensive and it's wrong.
Right.
We would feel the same. I would feel the same way if I would feel the same if somebody depicted Jesus as a crazy cartoon.
Right, it's offensive.
But
there's no debate about whether it's offensive. Everybody knows it's offensive.
It is offensive, and I think Gallagher was really putting this on to create attention, to promote her organization. Geller, excuse me.
She was promoting, even if you hate her message, she was promoting free speech. And as Rich Lowry put it in a column today, he writes, criticism of Islam is at the vanguard of the fight for free speech since it is susceptible to attack and intimidation by jihadists and calls for self-censorship by the politically correct.
There's nothing wrong with free speech, but as Donald Trump put it, be smart, not stupid. Why would you invoke attacks on the people coming to your event by doing something something that's so ridiculous?
We in this country need to limit our constitutional rights. We have to limit our free speech.
But to some extent,
let me finish. Lest we invite attack, or as O'Reilly put it, spur an attack against us. That's the way we need to be looking at this.
Freedom of speech is an enumerated right that also comes with the freedom of religion, the freedom of press, and the freedom of association. Muslims should be free to worship, just like Christians should be free to worship. And freedom of speech comes with limits, and this is a clear limit.
No, it isn't.
It's just like going into a movie theater and yelling out fire, or walking into a black church and yelling out the N-word.
No.
Neither of those things you would do. They're offensive, and they will invoke a reaction.
You are fundamentally confused and wrong, and the U.S. Supreme Court has been very clear on this.
I think you're fundamentally wrong, Megyn. It just doesn't make any sense.
Why don't you go back and look at Westboro Baptist Church?
We can talk about case after
you
case.
had your say, and now I will respond. The decision issued in 2011, 8-1, a nearly unanimous Supreme Court, the liberals and the conservatives joining together, saying that notwithstanding the fact that the Westboro Baptist Church, as hateful as they come, offered hurtful and speech which did not contribute hardly at all to the public discourse. It was negligible value. Nonetheless, free speech still supported allowing them to do it. The American people overwhelmingly support that principle.
This is not about case law. This is about common sense. And this organization has lost their common sense completely.
And that this is akin to yelling fire in a movie theater, which is not protected speech.
Well, it's a complete and total utter loss of common sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you paint a caricature of another group's God and say it's okay and laugh at it and expect them not to respond?
Why would you show up at the funerals of dead soldiers and say God hates S-A-G-S?
I'm not condoning the Westboro Baptist Church. I hate them just as much as I hate this group.
The more offensive the speech is, Richard, the more protection it needs. That's how the First Amendment works.
Exactly, but it doesn't mean you should do it.
We can defend the First Amendment right to say it without aligning ourselves with the message.
It doesn't mean you should do it. The First Amendment does give us the right to freedom of speech. It doesn't mean you should go out there and do it. Right? It doesn't mean you should go out there and do stupid things like what they did.
Here's the issue. When people exercise their First Amendment rights and two jihadis show up to murder them, the relevant question at that time is not what were they saying. The relevant question is what are we going to do about this group of people that wants to murder us because we believe in free speech and the First Amendment.
If they never had that event, the jihadis would have never shown up. That's the cart before the horse. It's just that simple. In this particular incident, Megyn, that they would not have shown up.
I'm concerned about the America you would have us live in. That's not the way
I would live in an
set
America
up.
where everybody accepts everybody and not make fun of their respective gods, Megyn.
Well, why don't you just explain that to the jihadis? Explain that to them, because they need a little lesson in
how we beat terrorism was with love, not hate.
I gotta go. I have another guest coming up after you. It's great to see you, as always, Richard Fowler. We are also hearing some